No prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft has a more split skill set than Abdul Carter. He's both electrifying and frustrating, which is a rare combination, drawing attention from scouts and fans alike. To understand his potential, it's essential to dive deep into what makes him stand out, alongside the concerns that accompany his game. Abdul Carter dominated college football with 12 sacks and an impressive 25 tackles for loss, showcasing elite bend and a suite of finesse moves that leaves offensive tackles scrambling. His versatility is remarkable, allowing him to play multiple roles on the field. At Penn State, he rushed primarily from the left side, occasionally lining up over the center or even as a 3-tech. This adaptability means he can switch between various defensive schemes, showcasing his multifaceted abilities. What truly defines Carter, however, is his knack for bending around edges with ease. He employs the notorious ghost move, causing blockers to miss him completely. Instead of relying on brute force, he demonstrates a unique blend of agility and speed that perplexes defenders at every turn. Carter's skills are not just physics, they're about football intelligence. He often anticipates plays, reading formations, and exploiting weaknesses in offensive schemes with uncanny precision. This cerebral approach enhances his effectiveness, allowing him to make impactful plays. But while he boasts an exciting skill set, the question remains, does Abdul Carter have the physical tools to succeed at the NFL level? His journey is just beginning, and the expectations will shape his career for years to come. Explosive college production and versatility. Abdul Carter's collegiate career at Penn State showcased explosive production on the field, registering an impressive 12 sacks, which not only highlighted his talent, but also placed him among the best in the country. In addition to his sacks, he achieved an astounding 25 tackles for loss, demonstrating a remarkable ability to disrupt opposing offenses, consistently creating problems for quarterbacks and running backs alike. His impact on the game was undeniable, showcasing not just statistical prowess, but also the skill set that made him a standout player. One of Carter's defining characteristics is his versatility. He's not limited to one role. This flexibility allowed him to rush primarily from the left side, while also effectively covering as a linebacker or even spying on quarterbacks during critical plays. This adaptability makes him an asset, as coaches can utilize him in various schemes to exploit matchups. Carter's size, standing at 6 feet 3 inches, mastered the ghost move and elite bend. Abdul Carter's mastery of the ghost move is a defining feature of his pass-rushing arsenal, allowing him to deceive offensive tackles with remarkable agility. His elite bend is not just a skill, it's an art form that sets him apart from many edge rushers. When approaching the tackle, Carter employs a unique technique that allows him to bend at the waist and dip his shoulder, creating a smaller surface area for blockers to hit. This ability to navigate around the edge is crucial, as it gives him the opportunity to pressure the quarterback without needing to rely on raw power, which he often lacks. Furthermore, his ghost move is effective because it creates the illusion of a bull rush, prompting tackles to prepare for an impact that never comes. Instead of powering through, he slips past them, leaving defenders grasping at air. This deceptive maneuvering not only showcases his athleticism, but it also reflects his understanding of how to maximize leverage and angles in high-pressure situations. Carter's ghost move is versatile. He can execute it in various situations, adjusting based on the tackle's stance and tendencies. He even has different variations of his bend, allowing him to keep offensive linemen guessing, which is crucial in the fast-paced environment of the NFL. Consequently, his ability to execute the ghost move with precision while maintaining elite bend makes him a formidable prospect in the upcoming draft. If he continues to refine this skill set, he can become a game-changing pass rusher at the next level, applying constant pressure on quarterbacks and disrupting offenses, making him a valuable asset to any team. Football IQ and game awareness. Abdul Carter's football IQ is one of his most impressive attributes. His ability to read opposing offenses, understand formations, and anticipate plays sets him apart from many college prospects. For instance, When he tracks the movements of offensive linemen and running backs, he showcases a remarkable awareness that few players possess. This heightened awareness allows him to react quickly to changes in the offense, making him an effective player during crucial moments in the game. Televising his plays reveals how he identifies the tendencies of the opponent. During a critical drive, Carter has often demonstrated that he doesn't just rely on his physical skill, but rather, he uses his intellect to disrupt the offense's flow. His keen observations enhance his ability to counteract the strategies employed against him. For example, when facing a pulling guard, he quickly adjusts, positioning himself to evade the block that's coming his way, while evaluating how best to respond to potential threats. Whether it is reading the splits of the offensive line or understanding the formation's hints, Carter uses this knowledge to make plays that reflect his high football IQ. Additionally, his ability to anticipate offensive plays fosters a sense of confidence, allowing him to play in a more aggressive manner. Such knowledge, paired with his natural talent, elevates his game, positioning him as a player who not only excels physically but also mentally. In essence, Carter's football IQ contributes significantly to his overall effectiveness on the field, showcasing a combination of instinct and study that few can match, and ensuring he lives up to his elite potential. Limitations: lack of power and physicality. Carter's primary limitation lies in his glaring lack of power and physicality on the field. Without a strong bull rush, he struggles to fend off blockers, which exposes him to being easily overmatched. This weakness is particularly evident when facing NFL-caliber linemen, who can simply anchor against his finesse moves. They often set the edge, which curtails his ability to penetrate the backfield. His upright two-point stance further compounds this issue, making it difficult for him to generate the necessary power from his lower body. In addition, his hand placement is inconsistent, leading to ineffective engagement with offensive linemen. When the tackle keeps their hands low, Carter finds himself unable to impose his strength, resulting in him getting pushed outside of the play time and again. This creates further doubts about his ability to adjust and counter, as he often resorts to swipes that are easily deflected. Making matters worse, he frequently ends up on the ground, an unfortunate hallmark for an elite pass rusher. This raises alarming questions about his balance, leverage, and overall strength, which are essential attributes for success at the next level. As he stands at 6 feet 3 inches and weighs about 252 pounds, he's not small by any means. However, his reliance on finesse over power makes him vulnerable to bigger, stronger tackles. While he's undeniably explosive, the lack of a formidable power element in his arsenal hampers his overall effectiveness. Coaches will need to focus on enhancing this aspect of his game, as true success in the NFL may hinge on his ability to develop a more physical style of play. Balance and consistency issues. One of the biggest red flags surrounding Abdul Carter is his tendency to often find himself on the ground. Elite pass rushers rarely fall to the turf as frequently, which raises concerns about their balance, awareness, and overall strength. In his case, being repeatedly on the ground highlights a lack of contact balance and leverage. Moreover, at 6 feet 3 inches and approximately 252 pounds, he possesses an acceptable size, yet struggles to maintain sturdy positioning against opponents. This inconsistency not only prevents him from making impactful plays, but also limits his ability to control the line of scrimmage. As a result, his performance can fluctuate dramatically from game to game, leaving scouts and coaches wondering which version of Carter they will see. It becomes a question of whether he will adapt his techniques and learn to regain his footing when faced with contact. Another aspect contributing to these balance issues is his reliance on finesse moves. While finesse can be effective, it also exposes him to getting overpowered in one-on-one situations. When he tries to rely solely on evasive maneuvers without the underpinning strength needed at the NFL level, he often finds himself in compromising positions. The combination of these factors creates a pattern where, without proper leverage or the ability to stand firm against incoming blockers, he risks being ineffective on critical downs. Scouts have noted that good players tend to stay off the ground, meaning that overcoming these balance and consistency issues is essential for Carter to realize his full potential as an elite pass rusher in the league. It's a hurdle that needs addressing for him to truly excel. Questionable counter moves and premeditated plays. Carter's spin move feels pre-planned rather than reactive, and this robs it of surprise, making it much easier to defend. He often employs this move before the snap, which defeats its purpose entirely, as he can't catch his opponent off guard. This makes it apparent that he struggles to use his hands effectively as counters. Instead of powerful strikes, he tends to swat away at anything, which leads to a lack of impact, and it exposes him to linemen who can easily neutralize his approach. Given that he relies heavily on finesse moves, one would expect him to develop quick and instinctual counter strategies. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. With his hand placement often inconsistent, Carter frequently finds himself at a disadvantage. He should be targeting the weak points of the tackle to apply pressure, but misses those opportunities to create leverage. This inconsistency leaves him unable to generate the necessary force to defeat blockers, especially when he's caught in tight situations. Poor hand usage and ineffective counters only exacerbate his challenges in one-on-one confrontations. He simply cannot get enough separation or land secure blows to shift the balance in his favor. As a result, rather than becoming a multifaceted threat, his unrefined moves lead to predictability in his style. Defenders can anticipate his next step, and such predictability diminishes his overall effectiveness on the field. If Carter hopes to thrive in the NFL, he'll need to refine his counter techniques, developing a more reactive approach that complements his impressive speed and agility. Comparison to Micah Parsons and NFL projection. Abdul Carter has often been compared to Micah Parsons, another standout from Penn State, who has made a significant impact in the NFL. However, when you analyze their performances in college, the comparison doesn't quite hold up. Parsons consistently showcased remarkable power and athleticism, rarely finding himself on the ground, and demonstrated the ability to dominate across various roles on the field. In stark contrast, Carter, despite his own athletic prowess, has struggles with balance and often ends up on the turf, raising questions about his contact strength and awareness during plays. While both players were the same number 11 for the Nittany Lions, their styles diverge sharply when it comes to pass rushing. Parsons relied heavily on his instinctual play, while Carter's finesse-focused approach brings up concerns about his durability against tougher NFL competition. During Parsons' last season, he only rushed the quarterback 94 times, allowing him to refine his skills without facing the same level of scrutiny as Carter. This comparative inexperience means that while Carter has shown flashes of brilliance, especially with his ghost moves and elite bend, he still has a steep learning curve ahead. Scouts are intrigued by him, but whether he can add the necessary power to his game and develop counter moves remains to be seen. If he can adjust to the NFL's physical demands, he stands a chance at fulfilling his potential. However, it's essential to recognize that the path to becoming a top-tier player in the NFL will require substantial growth and adaptation from Carter. Final thoughts. High ceiling, yet uncertain future. Abdul Carter possesses a fascinating skill set that combines explosive athleticism, football IQ, and versatile playmaking. However, his future in the NFL remains steeped in uncertainty. While he flashes moments of brilliance, showcasing an impressive ability to bend around edges and execute what many refer to as the ghost move, there are notable concerns. Without a solid foundation in power and counter moves, defenders at the NFL level may exploit his lack of physicality. His propensity to end plays on the ground raises red flags, especially for a player projected to be a top draft pick. There's an old adage in scouting, which states that great players rarely find themselves on the turf. Carter must overcome this obstacle to truly realize his potential. Additionally, comparisons to Micah Parsons, another standout from Penn State, serve as both a blessing and a challenge. While Parsons has established a reputation for his well-rounded skill set, Carter still has work to do to approach that caliber. If he can develop a more dynamic power game and refine his hand placement, he could transition from a raw talent into a premier pass rusher. The NFL is not merely about talent. It demands adaptability and growth. The question remains whether Abdul Carter will rise to the occasion. With his elite characteristics, he might just redefine expectations. Yet, the journey ahead appears daunting. For a player with such high potential, the stakes have never been higher. Only time will tell if he can transform that promise into tangible success on the field. In conclusion, Abdul Carter presents a captivating case as a prospect for the 2025 NFL Draft. His unique blend of skills, highlighted by elite bend and dexterity, makes him an exciting player to watch. His ability to utilize the ghost move effectively showcases his finesse, allowing him to evade blockers and create pressure on quarterbacks. However, as impressive as these qualities are, they do not mask his significant deficiencies. The lack of power in his rushes raises concerns, particularly when considering the formidable talent he will face in the NFL. Without the ability to execute effective bull rushes, he risks becoming predictable, allowing tackles to simply set the edge against him. Furthermore, his frequent struggles with balance and his tendency to end up on the ground are alarming indicators of his physical limitations. These factors combined could lead to a rocky transition to professional play. Despite the red flags, there's a glimmer of hope. Should he successfully develop his power game and refine his hand placement techniques, the potential exists for him to be an impactful player. Nonetheless, the road ahead is uncertain. NFL linemen will exploit any weaknesses. Thus, Carter's success will heavily rely on his ability to adapt and enhance his skill set. If he can rise to the occasion and harness his impressive tools, he stands a chance at realizing his draft potential. Ultimately, Abdul Carter's journey in the NFL remains to be seen, but he encapsulates the essence of high-risk, high-reward prospects, rich with potential but requiring significant development.